Do NOPD officers deserve a bump in pay? Tonight, the difference between what some say they should be paid and what the city can afford.
And new developments in a theft case during a North Shore High School football game, who police say stole thousands of dollars worth of personal items from the visiting team's locker room.
And travelers now have another airline option at Armstrong International when flying home for the holidays.
Live from the French Quarter, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Karen Swenson.
And I'm Natalie Shepard. Well, it is another bone-chilling forecast we're looking forward to.
In fact, parts of the metro area under a freeze warning again tonight. Meteorologist Carl Arredondo is in the pinpoint forecast. Carl, what can you tell us?
Well, it's going to be cold again for tonight and tomorrow morning. Some spots have a freeze warning, and some spots don't. If you don't have one, you may still have some frost, so you may still want to protect the plants. Take a look first at WeatherLink 4. We'll look first north of the lake. You can see into Mississippi at 43 degrees right now. 37 at Chattaima Elementary in Lacombe, and around Hammond at Southeastern, it's 40 degrees. St. Rita School in Harahan at 46. 46 at Our Lady Perpetual Help in Belle Chase, and in Laplace, it's 47. Now, as you look at your planner for the rest of the evening, temperatures will be falling quickly into the 30s north of the lake and 20s by 11 o'clock tonight. And you can see on the South Shore, we'll go from the 40s to the 30s. Now, a hard freeze warning is for Washington Parish and the Mississippi counties. There's where you're supposed to make sure those exposed pipes are wrapped. The rest of the area under a light freeze warning. You notice Metro New Orleans is not under that freeze warning, but there could be some frost. Here are the record lows for tomorrow, and I do think we may see some record lows on the North Shore, not so much on the South Shore. Coming up in my full forecast, we'll take a look at those forecast lows in just a bit.
All right, Carl, thank you. Both the New Orleans Civil Service Commission and the Landrieu administration are proposing pay raises for police officers. But there is a big difference between what the commission says officers deserve and what the administration says the city can afford. Paul Murphy reports.
The New Orleans Civil Service Commission adopted a staff report proposing a 20% pay raise for police officers over the next 3 years. The recommendation calls for salaries to increase by 10% next year, then an additional 5% in 2016 and 2017. The proposal comes at a time when the Landrieu administration is asking the City Council to give officers a 5% raise for next year.
Mayor Landrieu proposed a police pay raise, the first time in 8 years that there's been a police pay raise proposed. It's worth $4.2 million. It will be, again, a substantial shot in the arm to the department, to our recruiting efforts.
The administration admits it would like to do more to compensate police officers, but given the city's financial constraints, a 5% increase is a good first step. An attorney for the Fraternal Order of Police disagrees, calling the city's current offer a slap in the face.
We still will lose officers at an alarmingly high rate, and I don't think the 5% will mean much in terms of the recruitment efforts.
Right now, the NOPD has about 1,145 officers. It is losing more than 100 officers a year. The city has a new mandate to hire 150 new officers a year with the goal of reaching 1,600 officers.
I think the city can do better. Everything is feasible if it's important enough.
Unless somebody found another $4.2 million, that's going to be something that's not going to be doable in this year's budget.
Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
Ultimately, the City Council will decide if police officers get a pay raise, and if so, how much.
An eyewitness update now to a theft case that happened during a North Shore football game last week. The Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office arrested 4 teens for felony theft. They're accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of electronics from Bogalusa High School football players during the game against Loranger. Detectives say all 4 teens are Loranger students. All but 2 phones and a belt have been recovered. Now, also on the North Shore, the search is on for a man who police say tricked and carjacked a healthcare worker. The woman was driving down Highway 27 in Monticello, Mississippi, when she saw an older man on the side of the road clutching his chest. The victim helped the man inside her car, and that's when he pulled out a gun. He forced the woman to drive south of Bogalusa, where he met up with a woman driving an older Dodge Durango with Texas license plates. The suspect then left with that woman. The suspect is white male with salt and pepper hair and a teardrop tattoo near his right eye. If you can help Washington Parish Sheriff's Office, you can call.
New developments tonight in the murder of a high school football coach over the weekend. Police have now identified a suspect in that case. 25-year-old Kendrick Cloud is wanted for allegedly shooting and killing Juan Joseph outside a Baton Rouge nightclub. Authorities say Joseph and his friends were leaving the nightclub when they got into an argument with two men riding in a car. Joseph was a football coach at West St. John High School. Another airline is coming to Armstrong International just in time for the holiday travel season. And as Janella Newsom reports, the new partnership is expected to give the already busy airport a big boost.
Allegiant Airlines will touch down at Louis Armstrong International Airport in February of 2015, just in time for Mardi Gras. An early celebration takes place for Allegiant Airlines. Vice President of Business Development Brian Davis announces Allegiant is the newest carrier at Louis Armstrong International Airport.
Today we serve 101 airports, and we think of those as 86 markets where our customers live on their way to vacation in 15 of America's greatest vacation destinations, and we are so honored to be adding New Orleans.
Its seasonal service of nonstop flights between Cincinnati, Columbus, and Indianapolis will begin February 2015. The airlines will also have year-round nonstop flights to Orlando. The new flights will operate twice weekly, and their introductory one-way fares start as low as $45. The airport's director of aviation says their efforts to recruit Allegiant has paid off. Allegiant provides customers with low base fares, averaging nearly half of the cost of most domestic round-trip fares. They say this business model has been successful in other locations, and they're optimistic that it will work here in New Orleans. I'm Janella Newsom reporting Eyewitness News.
A new study finds Loyola University contributed more than $170 million to the local economy during the last fiscal year. Those contributions come from a variety of factors. Loyola is a major employer with more than 2,200 faculty, staff, and other employees. Construction and improvement projects on campus generated $39 million for the local construction industry. Loyola's College of Business compiled the report. Well, as the famous French Quarter restaurant Brennan's prepares to reopen next week, another member of the Brennan clan is announcing plans for a new restaurant. According to The Advocate, it will be called Ted Brennan's Decatur and is just 3 blocks away from the original. Despite the family drama, Ted Brennan says his new restaurant will serve the French Creole cuisine customers have come to expect, and the restaurant should be open within 4 to 5 months. You can read more about this story at theneworleansadvocate.com.
Drastically lower water levels and disappearing wildlife in the Pearl River Basin have gotten the kind of attention that many have been begging for years. Tonight, North Shore Bureau Chief Ashley Rodrigue reports on a new commission charged with saving the ecosystem.
The waters and swampland of the Pearl River Basin are not just known as popular spots to experience sportsman's paradise. Many consider the area home, and both residents and visitors have been desperately trying to protect it for decades.
We've been kind of disgusted. We couldn't get nobody's head turned to really get to the issues of this problem. And now we got people that's coming now. We finally getting organized.
Those people from the state, St. Tammany, and Washington parishes are on the Lower Pearl River Basin Ecosystem Study Commission. The inaugural meeting in Slidell Tuesday was to identify the area's issues, solutions, and how to pay for it all.
In 1970, the awareness for the Atchafalaya Basin and the ecosystem, the environment, started.
The group's first task was to hear how the Atchafalaya Basin program was started and has flourished. Many believe it's the roadmap the Pearl River Basin needs to follow. Residents along the Pearl say the issues that the Atchafalaya Basin Commission attacked are the same ones they're facing today.
We're losing our river. In another 10 years, we ain't gonna have a river. And it's sad because people use that river a lot. And the other issue is the wildlife. Because the river's messed up, it's affecting the wildlife.
Obviously, hydrology is a huge issue in the Lower Pearl River Basin. And I also want to see more people use the basin, the boat launches be fixed. There's numerous things that a program such as this could do for the basin that would benefit the people and the ecosystem altogether.
And today, there's more hope of that actually happening than there's ever been before. Ashley Rodrigue, Eyewitness News.
And the commission is hoping to introduce legislation when lawmakers return to the Capitol in April.
Early voting begins Saturday for Louisiana's heated U.S. Senate runoff. Now, Eyewitness political analyst Clancy Dubose explains why you might want to add casting your ballot to your Thanksgiving to-do list. And the Foo Fighters drop a huge surprise on Twitter, leaving fans scrambling for the ticket office. Plus, the Audubon Aquarium's newest resident breaks stereotypes with her poise and crooked smile.